There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. I had instances where I experienced burnout. Hi, my name is Rachael, a former data labeler and annotator, currently a community manager. One of the projects I worked on was you would have an image of household items. So I drawing bounding boxes and lines on the images, that is data annotation. And data labeling is when after I have drawn the image and I say, this is a chair. So now the chair is the tag that is attached to that specific object. So that is data labeling. And so for categorization, what I did was to track vehicles on the road from start point to end point. I would indicate whether the vehicle is on slow lane or is on fast lane. And so, yeah, those are the projects and the work I did. Yeah. I would work from 7 to 10, go for a 30-minute break, come back at 10:30, work to 1 p.m., 1:30, 30 minutes break, then up to 5 p.m. But most of the times I would have to extend to 6:30 or 7 because of the crazy target that I needed to meet on a daily basis. I had instances where I experienced burnout, both physically and mental burnout, because I would have to work overtime so as to meet the high target that was set. My mental health was impacted because the targets were just too high and very unreasonable. So you find that I had a difficult and sensitive pregnancy, but I was expected to work as everybody else. So I was supposed to work from 7 to 5 and meet the deadlines and the targets for the day. So you'd find that in as much as I had complications, I would be forced to work for that period of time. So it impacted me, and at some point I developed high blood pressure with my pregnancy, and I was very much close to developing preeclampsia, which is a life-threatening condition for a pregnant woman and her unborn child. I've been a data annotator for around 4 years, so you find that the more you are keying in the data into the system, the more your mental process is being impacted. So you find that with time, you come to realize that your brain now operates in sequence like a robot. So it has a very big impact on one's well-being. I had very little time for my social life. And so, because you would find that at times you'd be forced to come during the weekends, and so as to recover or to cover up for the tasks you did, the deadline you did, the target you did not meet during the week or during the month also. At times you would be forced to work on holidays, and it would be compulsory over time. There are also other times where you would wish to go for leaves and they would be frozen. Like unexpectedly, when you least expected, you would apply for a leave. Let's say I would apply for a leave then 2 weeks before, then a day before I start my leave, your supervisor tells you that, oh, no, you're not going for leaves. All leaves have been frozen until further notice, and so you would be forced to work. It contributed a lot to my mental and physical burnout, as well as my mental well-being. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes for data enablers, data labelers, and data annotators. I experienced some form of exploitation, because you'd find that I am putting in a lot of effort, but the pay does not directly correlate with the kind of work I do. You'll find that I am being paid a certain amount of money per day, where the client is paying the company a certain amount of dollars per task. So you'd find that the company would be the biggest beneficiary, and I would go home with very minimal wages. And so people should also understand that most of the tech workers that are subjected to such conditions have mental health issues that need to be addressed. And so at times it's just human enough to just extend grace to that person, because you never know. We had cases where there were some that were working on graphic content. Their mental health was so much impacted. We also have us who had I would say, unethical treatment at work. So you'd find that we were also in a bad space. Some of these jobs that people rush into, you'd find that at times, yes, you want the money, but you will get the money, not the amount of money that is required, but you will have to pay it with your mental health. So people should also put that into consideration, because you will find that most of these BPOs, they are not so keen on someone's qualification. They will just outline that as long as you're proficient in computer and you can communicate, then you're qualified for the job. But you will definitely pay for it in one way or the other. Yeah. I would wish that data labelers and data annotators be paid the right amount of money per the annotations they make, because you will find that we have different workloads, we have batches. So you'll find that when, let's say, the batch is new, you'll find that maybe the items that are supposed to be annotated by drawing bounding box and lines are not quite engaging. So you would find that maybe a task can take you around 5-10 minutes. But now at times we also have those cases where you get a very busy image that could take up to an hour, 1.5. So you'll find that you're spending a lot of time annotating this image, and so it should count, because that is like you are putting in effort in that. So instead of wanting to pay people by according to the number of hours they're working, it is fair enough to pay them as per the number of annotations they are making for the day's image. Because you will even find, there are even cases where you'll find a busy image, but you will work on it for like an hour or more, and then before you complete it, the image disappears from your machine, and so someone else will get that image and they will continue with the edits. But that means that the number of time, the amount of time you've spent on that image has been lost. And so I think if there should be a way of tracking the image, for example, those busy images that one does, you should be able to track them on the user ID and also track the number of annotations that that person has made on that image and pay them. Yeah, and also I think we should also have very clear policies or very clear outlines on promotions and hiring, because where I was, there were cases of other data annotators coming from other companies to my organization that I was, and they were being given leadership roles, and they were having a higher pay than the team leads and the QAs that were there present at the organization, and they were being hired, and the current team leads and the quality analysts were being forced to train them because they were not conversant with the work. And so we should have fairness. And also, I would wish that we have reasonable contract, because it doesn't make sense. You hire me for a project, give me a 1 month contract, renewed again 1 month, then 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. It doesn't make sense. So if you're hiring me, then you're supposed to give me a contract that is also favorable to me. If I'm working for 1 year, I should be able to know that I am working for 1 year. Other than that, I believe that the BPOs should be human enough, because previously in 2018, 2019, the organization itself had a very good leadership structure whereby you'd be hired for a project that would run for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And so you would work on that project. And when the project came to an end, you would be transferred to another project without you going home or without you being sent to the bench. But now when it came to 2020, the end of, around that time, COVID era, the leadership structure changed. So you'd find that the organization would get a project that maybe was supposed to run for 1 year, 2 years, 8 years, and 8 years with a team of maybe 24 people. But now what the organization would do would be to get as many people as possible and complete that project in 3 months. And so after 3 months, the organization itself has gotten the money from the client, while you as the employees go home and wait for another project. And at that time, we would have around 1,800 people on the bench waiting for work. So I think that is exploitation, and I think BPOs can do better. We can have legislations that protect the rights of data annotators and data labelers. Because you will find that in some cases, most of the times, some of the BPOs, they employ either Form 4 leavers or undergraduates that are yet to graduate. And so you find that this population is not well conversant with the laws of employment, how the employment sector is supposed to be. And so they easily fall they're easily exploited. So if we can have legislations that protect this population of young people, it will be very much impactful. And also having the same legislations policy that curb harassment at work. For example, you can be at work, then your supervisor just decides to pick on you because of your dressing. And so he will pick on you, but leave someone else who's having a more inappropriate dress code. But if you try to report it, then nobody follows up on it. We also having a case of sexual harassment by a supervisor, but the organization not taking up the matter until 3 years later. That is when they start digging into investigations. I think we should have legislations that strictly follow up on such pertinent matters that have a great impact on data annotators. And also, the general public can support data annotators by getting the word out there, because in the organization I was there, we tried the much we can to tell people out there that this is what is happening. But now, when the press decided to visit the premises to do investigation on the organization, we were locked inside and we were not allowed to go out. However, we had a few activists that tried to get the word out there that exploitation was going on in that organization. However, I feel like we need more of that. And also, bearing in mind that there's a lot that goes on behind the scene. We, data annotators, data labelers, those that work in graphic image, like, you'll find that most of them, the mental well-being is being impacted. And so if we can have people supporting us in that, have proper therapy sessions for those that are going through mental issues, and have a supportive community, that will be good to go. And also have policies on minimum pay wage for data annotators and labelers, because you would find that data annotators, labelers are putting in a lot of work, but it does not reflect with the pay. And so instead of a data annotator getting paid for the hours, 7 to 5 hours that she is working, why not have a provision of paying the data annotator as per the number of annotations that they perform per specific task for the day? I think that would be way much better. It would curb the exploitation that goes around. Yeah. And so currently we have a bill that advocates for the rights of data annotators and other tech workers. So I would urge us to sign the petition. It's going on in the Senate, and for a better tomorrow for tech workers, for data annotators and labelers.